The president seems intent, and his party seems intent now on essentially telling people they're not seeing what they're seeing. I mean, the Hoover comparison to me is really the only one when you think about that we're going to right around the corner and Americans are coming back, and the idea that Hoover's sort of epitaph will forever be that he just failed to grapple with the magnitude of the problem. And he was ushered out of office in a historic drubbing because of that. It's hard to find any precedent other than that 32 incumbent massively screwing up response to a national crisis that has anything close to what we're witnessed the last 7 months or even the last 5 days.
Right. And the problem is that Trump is so terrible, he makes Hoover look like Gandhi. Yeah. Because Hoover was someone with empathy. He had done a lot to get food to people at the time of World War I, and he was actually considered a pretty progressive Republican. In Donald Trump's case, why did he cut off those negotiations today? The nice explanation is he did it because he wants to be able to blame it on Democrats in Congress. The not nice explanation is a lot uglier, which is the tyrants through history, when they're turned out by the people, they say, if I'm not going to be the leader, let them suffer. Right. Samson pulling down the temple. I hope that's not what this is, but I'm not sure it's not.
There's a real question here now, too, of just about the president's condition and what the implications of that are. I mean, I'm sitting here thinking like we're watching the president tweet. Those tweets are official statements. If the president were to tweet an announcement of that we were moving naval ships into the South China Sea or some sort of aggressive military action towards some state, that would be read as a president. But like, I don't know. Is the president actually tweeting? Is someone tweeting for him? Is he of sound mind right now? Like those seem
we have no idea, Chris. And we all have to sleep, I think, for the next 4 weeks at least with one eye open because we don't know. Assuming that this debate comes off with Joe Biden, number one, why in hell are they going to be in the same studio? Can't this be done virtually? The third Kennedy-Nixon debate was done with Kennedy in New York, Nixon in Los Angeles. The technology is a lot better now. Instead, we're talking about all the people in that studio taking the risk of being around Donald Trump and members of his entourage. It's a health hazard to everyone, and it's completely unnecessary. Yeah. But as we watch his performance, we're all going to have to ask the question, is he on drugs? Has he been reduced by illness so that he cannot function as president, not only for the next 4 years, but during the next several weeks?
That point about Kennedy Nixon just blew my mind. I had no idea that was the case. I mean, we should say that Vice President Joe Biden today was asked about this and basically said, look, we're going to follow the CDC guidelines and the precautions here, but basically said if he still has COVID, we probably shouldn't debate in the same room. Seems sensible.
There is no reason on earth for these two guys to be in the same room.
Of course not.
Tell me what the reason would be.
Joe Biden's 77 years old. He narrowly escaped getting infected by the president of the United States a week ago.
And thank God he didn't.